Okay, look, I know the title is a little clickbait, but the trick to making thousands with cold email is your offer itself in the cold email. The reason is that genuinely everything else fails in comparison to what your offer is in the email itself. So think of it like this. If you were to weigh everything on a scale of the factors that make a cold email good, so you have things like the offer in the email, the personalization in the email, the guarantee, the call to action, all of that, right? I would say the offer determines about 80 to 90% of what makes a cold email good. And by the way, those are just rough estimations, but you get the point. Everything else, like personalization or call to action, just does not matter as much. The offer is the king. And in this video, I'll go over how you can make your offer a grand slam offer. Let's go. Step number one is you have to establish a quantifiable end result for your offer. Now, this is probably the most important step, but essentially what it means is what end result does someone get by working with you? Why should they even work with you? What can you do for them? What is the end result that someone working with you gets by working with you, right? Now, I've said this before, but most offers are either about gaining money, or saving time. But most of you, for your offer, is probably going to be about gaining money for your clients, right? Whether you're SMMA marketing agency or your lead generation agency, whatever you may be, most of your offers are probably going to be about making your client make more money, right? Now, how do you actually go about establishing a quantifiable end result? Well, if you're watching this video, you're probably going to be in one of two boats. The first boat is that you are an established business or agency owner and you've worked with clients in the past and you have case studies or testimonials. If this is you and you are an established business or agency owner, what you have to do is leverage your case studies, right? Now, what I mean by this is, let's say you work with insurance agencies and you help one of your insurance clients make $200,000 in 6 months, right? Well, now you can establish a broad claim like, we help insurance agencies make $400,000 in 12 months by doing blah, 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 blah. Or you can say, we help insurance agencies make $66,000 in the first 90 days by doing blah, 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 right? Now, you might be like, well, Aryan, that's a big number. How can we even, what if the prospect thinks I'm a scammer? What if they're this? What if they're that? Bro, no. Your case study is literally your proof of work. Your case study backs up your offer here because you're leveraging it. Your case study proves that you can do this and that you are a capable person that can drive results. That is the whole point of a case study, right? So if you are an established agency owner, founder, or a business owner overall, and you have case studies, leverage them in your offer because it's literally proof of work of you saying, hey, here's my offer and here's proof that I've done it in the past. Do you want to work together? Quite simple, right? So if you are an established agency owner or founder, leverage it. Now, most of you are probably beginners here, right? Just being honest. And then you're going to come up to me and be like, Aryan, well, I have no case studies. I'm just getting started, or I just signed my first client. I still don't have case studies. How can I go about actually doing this and establish some broad claim in my offer? And to that, I say, well, you have to do research on your market, right? So let's say you are a lead generation owner and you want to work with SEO agencies, for example, right? Literally, go on ChatGPT, do market research, and just ask it, be like, how much is one client worth to SEO agencies, right? In this case, let's say it's $5,000 a month, right? And if you're a lead generation agency owner and you can book somebody 10 meetings a month, don't you think out of those 10 meetings, the SEO agency will either close one or two clients from those 10 meetings? Probably they can, right? So what you can do here is be like, hey, and if they're all worth $5,000, of course, you can say, hey, we help SEO agencies add $20,000 to their MRR using whatever outbound strategy you have, right? Quite simple, right? Now, as a beginner with no case studies, they're probably going to hit you with, how can I trust you? How do I know you're legit? Like, you're just a beginner, you have no case studies. How do I know, like, you're actually going to do work for me? And the way to actually go about this is you have to work on a performance basis. Meaning you tell them, hey, we will only you will only pay us if we get you results. You don't pay us if we don't get you results. And I know some of you beginners will be like, Aryan, I want to make money. Like I want the $4,000 retainer. I want this $10,000 retainer that I see people online making. Blah 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 blah. No, you're a beginner, bro. Work on performance. You don't have any track record in the past. You don't have any case studies. So how can the prospect pay you $4,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month? They can't even trust you. You're a total noob. So the way you counteract this is by working on a performance basis. That way, once you work on a performance basis and you get somebody results, you can use that case study for your next client. You see how it works here? You work on a performance basis as a beginner. You get a client. You get those client results. You leverage those case study results to get your next client. So then you charge more money because you have a proven track record. It's just a natural step up for a beginner, right? So to summarize here, find a quantifiable end result for your offer. If you have case studies, leverage it. And if you don't, work on a performance basis and make a broad claim. This all comes with market research and whatever case studies or whatever you've done in the past. That is pretty much how you make a end result or offer. Step number 2 is time frame. Now this all comes down to how fast you can achieve somebody results, right? Not every offer is dependent on this, but generally speaking, the faster you can get someone results, the more valuable your offer is most of the time. For most offers that I've run for cold emails, for me, it seems like 90 days or 3 months is the sweet spot to where it's fast enough to get someone results, but it's not too fast to where whatever service I'm selling cannot fulfill on the offer itself, right? Now, again, this is entirely dependent on what service you're offering. So, for example, if you're doing SEO, you won't see any results till about 6 months because that's just how long it takes for the service to work. SEO services take about 6 months plus for the results to actually come in. So yeah, it entirely depends on your market. But what I will say is if you stretch out the time frame longer, let's say you stretch it out to 12 months instead, right? Instead of 3 months, you can actually make the claim bigger. So for example, what I mean by this is instead of saying, hey, I'll make you $60,000 over the next 6 months using our outbound, you can say, hey, I'll make you $140,000 in the next 12 months using our outbound. And if you zoom out on a long enough horizon, on a 12-month long basis, a whole year, that is not that hard, honestly. If you're having doubts about making somebody $140,000 in 12 months of working with them, then that means that your service delivery, whatever service you're selling, whether it is lead generation or SEO or email marketing, whatever it may be, if you have doubts that you can't make somebody more money on a longer time horizon, that means your service has to be better, right? But anyways, I know to some beginners that sounds crazy, but after a few months of trying and testing, if you're doing lead generation, in this case, cold email offers, angles, whatever it may be, in 12 months, you can easily hit that number. 140K is not that hard. You just have to make your service better. So if you do stretch out on a long enough time horizon, you can make a broader and bigger claim. But that is entirely dependent, again, on whatever your service you're selling. For most people, I would say, stick to a shorter time frame, 3-6 months, or even a month. But experiment with their offer. You really won't know for your service until you actually experiment, right? Experiment around, try different things, and see what comes up. Now, step number 3 is perceived likelihood of achievement. Our last step will be a lot harder for beginners, but if you are a beginner, still hear me out because I can actually provide you some value towards the end of this step, right? The last thing about your offer here is how likely is it that you can get results for your prospect. And how you can do this is by using case studies. And I mentioned this in step number 1, but if you do have case studies, please leverage it. Put it on your website, put it on your YouTube, put it on your Twitter, put it on your LinkedIn, put it wherever. Also, your case study results can't be stuff like, yeah, we helped somebody increase their site speed by 20%, or we helped them cut their cost per lead by 30%. Bro, nobody cares. Nobody cares about that. What people really care about is, again, how much money did you make them in your case studies? That is the stuff that you need to put on your case study. Beneath that, and a little bit worse than that, is how many leads you got them or how many new clients did they get by working with you. But the main thing here is honestly how much money does somebody get by working with you and in what time frame, right? That is the stuff that you need to put on your case studies. Now, let me tell you a quick story for my own agency and my own website. I had a case study on my website, sort of like a presentation, where you could just go through what I did for a certain client, right? Now, where I fucked up was I had my client's name and their company on the first slide in big bold letters, and all the way beneath that, like on the last slide, like slide 8 or slide 9, I had it in small letters how much money I made them and in what time frame. And one day I was watching Cold Email Wizard. If you haven't already, go watch him. Go follow him on Twitter. Fucking smart ass motherfucker. Anyway, one day I was watching him and he was saying, if you do that, you're fucking up. What you need to do is actually the opposite. You need to put how much money you made them and in what time frame as the first thing in your case study presentation in big bold letters on the first slide, right? And as soon as I did that, literally the next day, instantly, I noticed more positive replies and more meetings booked, right? So again, if you have case studies, leverage them and make sure that they actually show quantifiable results, meaning how much money you made them or how many new clients you got them or how many new leads they got by working with you, right? And if you have worked with somebody in the past but you don't have this information, all you have to do is ask them. Go up to your client and be like, hey, I know you haven't guys haven't really tracked this, but could you tell me how much money we've actually made you using our services, or how many new clients you got, or how many new leads? Can you just give us a rough estimate? I know we've never really asked you, but could you give us a rough estimate on that? And they'll probably will give it to you, bro. If you've done a good result of providing them with excellent service, they probably will give it to you, right? Now, if you're a beginner, you obviously don't have case studies, so you'll have to work on a performance basis, like I said. But there is one big thing that you can do to increase your likelihood of achievement, and that is make content about whatever service you're offering. Let's say you're offering SEO to lawyers, right? And you're a beginner. Well, what you can do is literally post on YouTube making videos on SEO. You don't even have to be that good at SEO. You can just teach basic level stuff and link the videos back to your website, right? Or if you don't want to do YouTube and you don't want to show your face or whatever, just put out valuable content on LinkedIn about SEO. Because I'm assuming a lot of lawyers will probably be on LinkedIn and you do want to be where your target audience is. So genuinely, if you don't want to show your face, just make posts about SEO on LinkedIn, talk about backlinks and organic traffic or whatever SEO stuff is. I'm not an expert in SEO, I'm just assuming stuff, but just post valuable content on LinkedIn and show your expertise and provide value and link your LinkedIn back to your website, right? Now what this will do is prospects will look at your videos or look at your LinkedIn posts whenever you cold email them, right? And let me kind of take this back one step before that. When you cold email someone, somebody will actually look up your website and your domain. This is why having a landing page and case study and VSL is very important. But whenever you cold email someone, the prospect will go to your website and look at what you have on there, right? And if you've linked your LinkedIn and you've made your YouTube content, the prospect will be like, okay, well, I clicked on his website and he has a lot of YouTube posts on here talking about SEO, and he has a lot of LinkedIn posts on here talking about SEO. He doesn't really have case studies, but it honestly seems like he's a trustworthy guy. He's like a knowledgeable guy. He knows what he's kind of talking about here. You know what? I'll just book a time to chat with him. Fuck it. And just book a call with you. Just like that. Your perceived likelihood has gone up because the prospect will actually view you as an expert in your field because you're posting on YouTube or you're writing posts on LinkedIn. It's not related to the cold email itself, but trust me, when you make an offer or when you cold email someone, prospects will look you up on LinkedIn or YouTube or go to your website. And I can tell you, for me personally, when I linked my YouTube videos back to my website, people that booked calls with me, instantly framed me as an expert. They're like, well, I mean, you're the expert in this field. Like, could you tell me a little bit more about cold email? Well, it seems like you know what you're talking about, blah, 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 blah. When I, after I actually started linking my YouTube videos back to my website. So if you are a beginner, and even if you have case studies, this will work fantastic for you. Just do this, and people will book more meetings with you when you hop on a call with them. They'll have a higher perceived likelihood of achievement because they will view you as an expert, because only an expert or a guy that knows what he's actually talking about would post videos on YouTube or write posts on LinkedIn about whatever services that he is offering. So to summarize, ladies and gentlemen, establish a perceived likelihood of achievement. Leverage case studies if you have them, or if you don't, work on a performance basis if you are a beginner. Establish a time frame. Generally speaking, the shorter the time frame, the better, but you can experiment with whatever offer and market that you are targeting here. And increase your perceived likelihood of achievement by using case studies or just putting out content on the internet. Now you'll notice that all three of these steps, or three of the steps here, came from Hormozi's book, $100 million Offers. I think I've mentioned this in almost every single video I've made about cold email and marketing in general. But honestly, cannot recommend it more. Go ahead and check it out, and he'll go more into depth about establishing a quantifiable result in what time frame and perceived likelihood of achievement and all of that good stuff, right? So if you do want to learn more, go ahead and check out the book. Now, with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if you are a agency owner or founder and you're making over $30,000 a month in revenue and you want to work with me personally to see how we could help you guys out, go ahead, click that button below to book a call with me. But besides that, that's it for this video, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace out.